This is episode 59 of the Out of the Minds podcast. He's Sam Cooper.
And that's Sean Oakley.
I was wondering if I'd trip you up on that one. But no. Anyway, guys, welcome back. We have got a game for you that's not the two of us for a change.
It's one of us, though.
It is one of us.
Got to keep that in common.
I mean, it's normally one of us. And yeah, this is a game that I played during the week against fellow Tin Squad member Liam Burnett. And it's our Tin League match, actually, so quite an interesting one.
High stakes.
Yeah, I'm vying for second place in the league. I think we've all assumed that Chris is going to win it.
Yeah, it's pretty much guaranteed. Isn't it pretty much guaranteed at this point?
I mean, he's got 2 games, and you and I have both lost 2 so far. So in theory, it's not guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to me and John Vickery to beat him. Although at this point, I think we're just all hoping one of us does to blemish the record. But yeah, on to tonight's game. And I'm continuing my Republic. Pretty much... No, not quite what I flew last time. So I'm flying Hound again, because all my lists have Hound, because it's great, with Yoda, Agile Gunner, and 7th Fleet. I've got Anakin in the Etta with Patience and Predator, R2-D2, Shield Upgrade, and a Jamming Beam, because why not? Obi-Wan in the Delta 7 with CLT, Patience, and a Shield Upgrade. And then Mace Windu in the CLT Delta 7 with Heightened Perception and R4P17. And for those who don't know, Mace Windu's ability is after he fully executes a red maneuver, he regains a force. He's got 3 of them. He's I4. He's also 4 points, which is quite good value. And R4P17 is after you fully execute a red maneuver, you may spend 1 charge. It's got 2 to perform an action even while stressed. So, yeah, nice. Do you want to run through Liam's list?
Yeah, so Liam, our first order aficionado, is for some reason running the Imperials.
I mean, to be fair, I did mention that, and he does have Imperials, and if you remember back to our last store event, I believe he ran Imperials.
That doesn't matter. He's the first order aficionado. He should be running on brand.
Fair enough. I can't talk.
Anyway,
I now flip between all of them, so...
Yeah, that's because you're just quite contrary. Might as well call you Mary.
Thank you.
Anywho, back to the Imperials. We've got Darth Vader with Malice, Duke, and a heavy laser cannon. Iden Versio in the TIE Fighter with Elusive, Predator, and a heavy laser cannon. 2 ISB Jingoists with Contraband Cybernetics, and Vizier in the Reaper with Emperor Palpatine. And so, I don't know what current meta Imperial lists look like, but it looks kind of standard. You got random TIE Swarm, Darth Vader, and a support ship.
Yeah, I mean, there tend to be a few more ties. Though I've seen a list with Vizier in and ties, but it had X1 Vader, which basically nets you an extra 2 points for another tie. But I mean, he's got arguably the 3 best ties for the points he's got.
Yeah, exactly. You got the 3 best ties, you got the best defender, and arguably the best Reaper.
So we rolled off for the objective, and we're playing chance engagement. So that's nice. Don't actually practice that one that often because it's old school X-Wing, really. Just engage in the middle. Yeah, so Liam was first player for this, and we overlap at Initiative 2, 4, and 6. So there is a fair bit of overlap. It's quite interesting, actually. I can't remember who set which obstacle, but what we've effectively got is a pyramid from my side to just above the centre objective, or the objective, because there's only one.
And basically, Sean is at the base of the pyramid, and they're all crowding around the centre objective, leaving both of Liam's sides completely free, but the center objective is very clustered. Like you want to be.
Yeah, so I played for that. I think Liam started with a 2-2 in my corner, and I want a cluster because he's got 3 ties and Vader that are going to want to fly together, and so I was trying to create that cluster around the center objective so that he can't just swarm all the ties through the same lane, sort of next to each other, getting the same range shots. If he wants to follow each other, it's one behind, etc., etc. To just try and make that a little bit more difficult. But my basic sort of general plan with that is going to be try and drag his list through the rocks. Because
makes sense.
I can dodge a lot better than he can. Even, Vader in the Defender is a pain, but isn't overly maneuverable. Like,
yeah, like he's not going to be juking and jiving. He wants to go straight and blast away.
The dial isn't that great. The 1 and 2 hearts are red, so that hurts. And then you get your evade, and you can boost, but then it's Vader, so you're not doing as well on the defense, and so on and so forth. But setting ships down, and obviously Liam went first, so he set Vizier in his right-hand corner. Now I've played against Reapers a few times, and this Reaper obviously with Palp as well. I know they tend to quite often set up in the opposite corner from the rest of the list, and then just hard turn and follow in behind because Palp doesn't have a range. You want to keep it back. You don't want it to get shot, etc. But that's not guaranteed. Liam could have set the rest of his list next to it. So I actually just place Hound smack bang in the middle of my edge, as far back as I can. Basically, my plan is I'm going to stop turn 1 and then turn away from the list turn 2, whichever way that is, because it's almost a identical triangle, I suppose. I've literally got either choice. So I can stop, probably hard 2 away, and then turn 3 do a straight maneuver to relieve the stress I'd still have. Hopefully while getting people to chase me.
Yeah.
So Liam then sets up his 4s, all the ties, which he sets up in the opposite corner. And he's got the 2 jingoists next to each other, sort of 4 and 3 ship bases roughly in from the edge. He's got Iden on the edge side of that at 45 degrees.
Bit of a jaunty angle.
So because he's set up there, my assumption is that the Reaper's going to turn and go behind. So what I do is I set up Mace on my left-hand side, thinking that I can 5 straight, do a fine-tune bank, and just try and, get a lucky shot off at the back of, into the Reaper. If I can plink a shield off or something, it's a nice start. And looking at it, I think that's a great idea. But what I think I've done is I've scuppered myself by actually setting up too far to the left.
Right.
What I should have done was set up as close to going past the bottom left debris cloud as I could. Because if you assume that Vizier is turning, I want to be as close in so the boost brings me the closest range.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The likelihood of the Reaper coming head on at me is slim. It's possible.
Yeah.
It's possible, but
no, he's not going to joust.
Slim.
Let's be real here.
Yeah. So then I set up Obi, and I set up Obi in the opposite corner, opposite of the ties. Basically, because I want to bait the ties to come down that way after Obi.
Yeah, makes sense.
He then sets up Vader next to Iden, basically on the left-hand board edge, which makes me think he is considering gunning after Obi. Which just leaves me with Anakin. And Anakin, I place slightly to the left of Hound because, again, I've made the assumption in setup that the Reaper's going to turn behind the list. So I'm thinking if I jump Anakin quite far forward, he jumps in between the left hand and the middle bottom debris, plonks himself right in front of an asteroid. But I'm hoping that because the Reapers don't tend to do massively fast maneuvers, I might just blink a bullseye shot through that, and if not, I might just blink a non-bullseye, again, trying to just, knock one off if I can. Because Anakin can barrel roll away from that, he would have options to go either side depending on what the TIEs and Vader do. So I didn't think it was overly that much of a risk.
Yeah, no, that makes sense to me.
And yeah, so that's set up. And I pretty much walked through what I planned for turn one, so we'll get into it.
Let's see what your opponent has in store for you.
So I decide to really go for it. We roll off. Liam is first player. I don't think Liam has any system phase stuff. I decide to boost Anakin, thinking if I want to get nice and close up to that rock. Bearing in mind, I've dialed in a 5 straight. And the moment I do that boost, I'm like, oh, that's gone a bit further than I thought it would. I mean, I've been playing X-Wing like 3.5 years now. You think I'd know how far a 1 straight boost would take me, but
nah, no chance. You never it's just a mystery every single time. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
But yeah, so
it's the hidden variable. Your 1 straight grows and shrinks in between every game.
So I'm looking at that going, oh god, I think that 5 straight puts me on the asteroid. Not great. But Hound, so the Reaper goes, and I believe ailerons, 1 bank to the left, and then I think a 1 bank again, might have been a 2 bank, but
it looks like a 1 bank.
But he has landed exactly where Anakin's bullseye is going to be.
Yeah, but he's presented a buttock.
And he's presented a buttock. And he takes a focus. Hound does his stop. So Iden does a straight... sorry, it wasn't Iden. It was the green... Oh, no. It wasn't Iden. Ignore me. I think I got the colours mixed up on the overlay at the start, which is why they've swapped around. So it wasn't Iden that he set up at the jaunty angle. It was one of the jingoists. Because you'll see they've now changed colour. So he I think 3 straights for the jingoist. Basically straight towards the objective.
Yep, makes sense.
Nice. And then straights the other 2 ties past and takes a focus. Mace does his 5 straight and boosts. I can't remember if I have a shot. I think I end up with a range 3 shot into the Reaper, but it's not bullseye, whereas I think being that little bit closer, I could have boosted barrel rolled and probably would have given me a range 2 bullseye.
Yeah, definitely.
But hey. Obi does a 1 bank because I wasn't sure if the ties would take the bait or not. I thought, there's a chance they just gun into the centre and, start trying to make life difficult. So I thought a 1 bank will give me options to go either way. And because they have gunned after me, I just boost. So I can set up a nice fast straight manoeuvre the next turn. Vader comes forward with, I think, a 5 straight. Takes an evade. And I think a focus. It's got a bit squiggly. And Anakin does his 5 straight. And that asteroid lands in between my nubs. Which I think...
Right. I think the stream has paused, by the way.
Well, I've got it paused.
I'm currently watching.
I've got it paused at the moment.
Okay, cool. Because I can't... it's a bit glitchy.
Yeah, it looks like that on my VLC.
Okay, that's alright then.
But yeah, so Anakin manages to just dodge the rock. Literally, it sneaks in between the nubs. And he takes a focus. And then I roll into the Reaper and end up with 2 hits. the Reaper rolls 2 blanks and a focus and spends the force to take 1 shield. And I think the only other shot is Mace, who does have a range 3, gets 2 hits. And plinks the other shield off. So I'm quite happy with that. That's it's started to make a damage, and now there's no shields for the Reaper to hide crits behind and things like that. So, and I've got basically good outs away from the ties and Vader really with all my ships. It's going to take them a couple of turns to get in. So yeah, that's turn 1.
So if I'm in Liam's shoes here, I'm a little bit concerned the way Reaper is getting singled out. At the same time, though, I think Vader can quite leisurely 3-bank here.
Yeah. See, I expected a 3 hard from Vader because I thought he'd want to turn him in and try and catch up with Obi and the Lat and start doing bits here. But yeah, basically my plan here is so end phase. I've rotated my turret with Agile Gunner, so it's now side to side. I think I dial in a bank to the left. I think a 3-bank because yes, that'll keep me stressed, but hopefully it will keep the ties in arc, and then I've got a nice straight move the next turn. Sorry, Mace is just gonna 5 straight after that Reaper. And Anakin's gonna barrel roll to the left out from behind the asteroid and then just bank round afterwards because I don't really feel that the ties can threaten that much.
Yeah, so, I think you're right there. The ties are nothing of Liam's list is really actually threatening a whole lot.
Yeah,
he just needs to get his Reaper out, and I would 3-bank Vader here now because you still have time.
Now Obi, I make an interesting choice. When I set up for the last turn with the 1-bank boost, I was just going to 5 straight him away and make sure he's out of dodge. But I actually decided to 2 hard in here.
Okay.
Because I was hoping that Liam would think I'm going to gun away, turn in afterwards, and try and catch him in the flank. Also, I kind of thought because it's it'll swing me round by that rock. If I do take shots, they're likely to be obstructed. So it's kind of almost, I suppose, a safety net.
Yeah, safety net from a response shot.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much the plan. So we roll off, and I'm first player this time.
Okay.
Which is
Vader's happy.
Well, I mean, I'd say it's not too much of an issue at the moment because our 6s aren't really anywhere near each other, and the 4's going after the 2 anyway, so it's not a huge issue at the moment. But Anakin does his barrel roll out from behind the rock. Hound does his bank. The Reaper aileron straight, and then does his ability to coordinate the green jingoist a focus, and then banks round, trying to escape from the Jedi. So Mace does his 5 straight, boosts round for a fine tune and takes a focus, so we can keep plinking off the back. The green jingoist jumps over the Reaper to basically land just off the center objective, so we can start contesting that. And Iden and the other jingoist basically bank in. Obi does his 2 hard, and it's slightly closer in than I thought it would be. So he's tucked, with the rock in front of him, and unfortunately, he's not an Etta, so he can't dodge that next turn, and I don't really want to send my... Alright, he's 5 health, but don't really want to send him over the rock. So I have to barrel roll.
No, you don't.
Which I think unobstructs the shot from Iden. But, I mean, I could have barrel rolled to the right, but then I just worry Vader just turns in, and then Vader's range one of Obi,
And like no one wants to be range one of Obi.
and no one wants to
like Vader at all. So
yeah. So yeah, barrel roll to the left, backwards, and then I take an evade because I want to be safe. So it's a purple evade, but that triggers Yoda, and Hound spends a force to get Obi's force back. And then Anakin does his 3 bank. Can't boost because Mace is in the way, so just takes a focus. But that's fine. He's not getting shot, and he's range 2 of the center objective. And as you can see him in apparently 2 places at once on the stream, Vader, I think does a 2 bank looking at that.
Yeah, that looks like a 2. So it's interesting that he's not getting his evade.
I mean, I didn't think he was overly worried about getting shot that turn. I know it nullifies Duke, but interesting choice here. Liam, maybe it was a 3 because he has taken his evade. Liam does barrel roll to line up the bullseye for the heavy laser cannon.
I mean, I can see that.
So Anakin takes, I think, a 3 obstructed shot into the Reaper. Gets hit crit. The Reaper dodges it. Yeah. So HLC into Obi. Does Vader stuff for 4 hits. Obi's got an evade. He's got 5 dice. He's got the Force. Maybe I take 2. No. Well, yes. But he rolls like 4 blanks and an evade. Because that's what Jedi do.
So you take 2.
So I take 2.
Basically like you predicted.
Basically like I predicted. I still feel I probably shouldn't have there, but 4 blanks. But that's fine. That's 2 shields. That's why it's got a shield upgrade.
Keep telling yourself that.
Sorry?
Keep telling yourself that.
Oh, yeah. So Obi goes next. And I go into... I think I go into Iden. Bear with me, because Jinguist has an evade and a focus, whereas Iden only has the focus. I 7th Fleet Gunner, so it's 3 dice. I fire Convergence. I don't spend a force. It's 1 hit. Iden rolls, I think, 2 eyeballs and opts to spend her focus to dodge it.
Makes sense.
Which is alright with me, because then she's not modded on her attack.
Except she is Palpatine.
Well, yeah, that's true. Mace goes into the back of the Reaper for 2 hits. The Reaper rolls an eyeball, spends the Force, so takes 1.
Nice.
So Green Jingoist goes into Hound because it's the only shot he's got. Range 3.
Range 3.
And I dodge. I think this is Iden going into Obi for 1 hit, and I get 1 evade. And then the other Jingoist, range 3, so close to obstructed. And I believe I dodged that as well. So I've taken 2 on Obi. I'm reasonably happy with that. Hound's got a shot. Takes range 3 into Iden because no tokens. Rolls 1 hit. Rolls 1 evade. And we score a point on the objectives.
Yeah. So next turn's going to be the interesting one.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. So what I want to do is 1 straight with Hound, coordinate Obi a boost to the right, hope that I catch the ties and they bump coming through that channel.
Yeah.
And then jet off behind them.
Yeah.
That
seems like a good plan.
Yeah. Is my plan. Like, I feel like both the yellow Jingoist and Iden and Vader are coming through that one gap, or Vader's turning off and coming down the bottom, which isn't as much of an issue. So if I can get a bump where they're all bumping into each other, great. If I can't, it's not. But the problem I have is I'm not sure if that one straight from Hound stays range 2.
Right.
Medium base.
That's close. That's literally what I was about to ask. Because it's like,
so
does it?
I am an R about what maneuver to dial in with Obi a lot, and I come to the conclusion that I have to dial in something that doesn't screw me if I'm out of range for the coordinate. So I dial in a 3 straight.
Yeah, that seems perfectly fair.
Because I'm hoping if I don't get the coordinate, I can 3 straight. I mean, I don't know where the ties are going, but either I'm left range 1 of his list, or I can probably, depending on what green Jingoist has done, I might be able to barrel roll to the left and boost up.
Yep. That seems fair.
Like, I am nard about putting in a 4K or a 5K and things like that, so that I, not only do I jump behind the ties if I get the boost in, I'm then facing back and shooting. But I was like, if that coordinates out, I'm 5K myself onto a debris field, and
everything's sad.
I nard about the 2 sloop. But then I wasn't sure if the boost fits, whether that bumps Vader. And if the boost doesn't fit, whether that clips the rock, so that one quickly disappeared. But yeah, settled on the 3 straight. Mace basically is going to, I think, 4 straight, which will put him just behind where the Reaper is now. With the ability to boost barrel roll, boost focus, whatever, he should be able to line up a shot on the Reaper. And I am an hour about chasing Anakin round with him. But I actually think I decide to barrel roll Anakin out and then one hard him in and try and catch that Jingoist.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan. You try and, at this point, you've got to try and. I think you're either going all in on Vizier, which is an option, or just try and clean up the ties before Vader can do too much damage.
Well, I think where Mace is and the fact that he's got CLT, he's enough to keep chasing.
Yeah,
like Vizier's got 5 health left and 1 green. If I get 2 good shots off on him from Mace, that should be him down. Right. So, yeah. But yeah, it's kind of honestly, it's about where that green Jingoist goes.
Yeah.
So, let's smack to it. Also, first player here will matter quite a lot because it'll matter for where Mace is going. If he could decide to one hard yellow behind that debris and present to Mace. So, yeah. So, roll through the stuff. As you can see, we take quite a long time on this planning phase because it's quite critical for both of us. Quite an important one. We roll off and Liam is first player again.
It's probably not what he wanted to see.
Oh, an interesting side note. I don't know if you've noticed this on the new game board bit that they've got. I only clocked it playing this game. But on the round markers, it actually tells you how many points you've scored each turn. So if you look at the 2 there, you can see a little red and a little blue above it.
Oh, yeah.
They both say 1, and then every time you add it, it tells you each round how many points you've scored.
That's interesting.
So quite nifty little addition, actually. I like that. So, system phase. Hound doesn't take a disarm to recharge 7th Fleet. Because A, I think he's likely to have a shot, and B, I'm not entirely convinced that anyone's going to use it this turn. Obi's going away. Mace, I don't think, is going to be in range.
And Anakin, if he's getting a shot, it's like range 1 into a TIE fighter.
Was my thought. So he's 4 dice anyway. But he does barrel roll out. And then the Reaper goes. Does his ailerons. I can't remember what he did as a movement, and I've just...
That looks like a straight boost.
I think that's his movement.
Okay.
Hang on, let me just scroll back and we'll do it.
Oh,
So
it
there's
was
the
a.
barrel
Looks
roll.
like it was a boost. It was a bank.
Yeah, so I think
Boost
that's
bank.
one bank, the other
Yeah,
way.
one bank. Yeah.
Perilously close to the edge.
Yeah, but he has the one hard.
Yeah. I'm not sure the bank fits in for the aileron on the next turn. Maybe.
He doesn't have to aileron.
No, I know he doesn't have to. Just yeah. So I do the one straight, and Obi's in. Obi's in. So I spend a force to purple coordinate and boost Obi round, which I'm fine with because I'm looking at that thinking 3 straight. That's gonna nicely line me up for a bullseye shot onto the Reaper. So, well, hey,
Nice.
I wasn't expecting that, but it's a nice little bonus. So the green Jingles actually just does a 2 straight, which I didn't expect, I have to admit. Obviously, just coming after Hound. Takes focus. Iden backs in, takes a focus, and yellow goes straight, doesn't bump Obi. Takes a focus.
Now I'm curious as to what Vader's doing.
So Mace does his full straight, banks around with a fine tune. I don't have a bullseye, so I barrel roll to line up the bullseye. Which is fine. I've got the force. I kind of figured that's probably the better way of doing it. And Obi does his 3 straight. Now I am an R about what to do here because I'm like, if Vader's done a 1 bank, that's just going to bump into me, which means Vader's then shooting me at range 0. I know he can't mod, but it's still range 0. I can't remember exactly what force I had, but I know it's not full, so I didn't overly want to force deplete myself. But in the end, I just take the focus. I don't boost. And Vader, I think that
is a spicy 1 bank.
That is a 1 bank, which goes just behind Obi, which great. That's fine with me. But he is lining up a shot onto Hound. Will be obstructed, but
I mean, when Vader's rolling dice,
exactly. And he takes a lock onto Hound. And then Anakin does his 1 hard. And so the tie's not where I expect it to be. So at this point, I'm sort of regretting not recharging 7 Fleet Gunner. So I
would hesitate greatly about boosting it because I know Vader's just taken a lock onto Hound, but Vader dice into Anakin is not really what you want.
I am an R about it for ages. But do I boost? Don't I boost? You'll see my hand going as I slide around the table, seeing where the bullseye would line up. I know that it's a heavy commitment to boost it in. But I'm also a little bit gung-ho, as you know, so I boosted him.
Yeah.
I looked at it, and as I thought, yeah, Vader's got a shot, but it's obstructed, it's range 3, or may have a shot, and if he does, it's obstructed range 3. If I'm really unlucky, he plinks 2 through. Realistically, probably 1, and then I can just R2D2 the shield back next turn, was my thinking. And it means I have lined up that range 1 bullseye onto green. And it's also left enough space that I have options for pre-positions the next turn. I can jump the other side of that rock if I want to. Or I can stay where I am. I could 1 hard left and try and dive out the gap the other side of the top asteroid. Because obviously I am vastly aware that Vader is there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we go to shooting. Vader has a range 3 obstructed on both Anakin and Hound. And I believe
in my head, I'm tempted by Anakin, but I think I'll just go into Hound here.
I'll check, but I believe he opts for Anakin.
Yeah, I think I saw him ping.
Yeah, I'll just check the. Yeah, there you go. 5
I mean,
dice.
when you pull 5 dice out, we know he goes for Anakin. It's
Yeah.
like I would be tempted. But I think I would still opt into Hound. Just stop putting the damage in.
So he gets hit at crit because it's Vader, and I think I roll 2 evades and a focus, or maybe 3 evades. But yeah, Anakin's fine. Anakin has a range 1 bullseye by the skin of his teeth. Actually, it's just in. And with Predator and the Force, I end up with 3 hits and a crit. Jingos rolls 2 evades and a focus. Spends the foe. Doesn't spend the focus.
See Iden.
Oh, yeah, he does. He Idens. That's why it is. But that's fine because that means I've burnt the Iden charge.
Yeah,
which is fine.
the Iden charge is always interesting because it's one of those things where your opponent is like, "Well, I've burnt the Iden charge," and then it's like you're like, "I've burnt the Iden charge," and your opponent like, "I dodged it with the Iden charge."
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of those things where it's like the Iden charge can be used to defend a TIE fighter, so whenever it is used, it's always good for both people. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, exactly. But my thoughts there were, it's not cost me a lot. I had the Predator reroll. I think I may have spent a Force. It's not like I fired a Torp into it and it's been Idened away. So
it's funny because with that line of thinking of saving the focus for the attack, like I'm thinking Liam probably should have got into Hound of Vader here.
Yeah.
Like just put all 4 shots into it. Like yeah, maybe Hound does blanket. He's got 2 Force, no 1 Force because he coordinated. But like it's still a lot. And Vader's dice are pretty reliable, and then the Jingoists can start just putting in damage.
Yeah. And Vader's got more chance of getting that crit through to regen his Force.
Well, debatable. You got 2 shields.
Yeah, but if the lat blanks out, which it does, it's only 1 dice. Then that's the shields and the crit.
It'd be 3 right in this shot. So.
Oh yeah, that's true actually because it's 3 obstructed. Ignore me then. But anywho, we move to Obi, who has I think a range 2 CLT into the Reaper and gets 2 hits and gets 1 through. And then it is the Ties who start plinking into Hound.
Who takes nothing?
I mean, Yellow's was I think 3 obstructed. Iden's was obstructed. I got enough pain. I'm pretty sure I burnt through my second Force at some point in there, so Force depleted, but still, And then it moves to Mace, who has a range 2 CLT into the back of the Reaper, gets 3 hits, and gets all 3 through. So the Reaper is on 1.
Yep.
So happy days there. I should be able to take that down next turn. Although you'll like the way I manage it.
Oh boy,
it's interesting. But yeah, and then Hound gets a shot because hey, and I think I ranged 2 obstructed shot into Iden because I think Green is range 2 because he hasn't given me a strain or anything.
And he's got a focus.
He's got a focus. So I figured, it's an extra dice, but there I get 2 hits, and Iden blanks on all 4 dice.
And is elusive.
And takes 1, which has netted me
Takes 2.
Sorry, takes 2. And that round I've managed to plink half points on the Reaper, half points on Iden.
It's hilarious to say you've got half points on them when they've got 1 health left.
I mean, it's still half points, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. It's funny.
We then score a point each on the objectives. So 5-2 lead at the end of turn 3. So still a close game,
Yeah, it's a close game. Although on the verge of, I think, you running away with it a little bit here.
The problem is, I have to stay sort of in the scrum because I have to be range 2 of...
Yeah. But I think the scrum favours your ships.
Oh, I'm not sure. I mean, if I get Anakin in a bad position, and you
I
get
mean, yeah.
Vader and a couple of ties on him. It's not great, but we'll see. We'll see. Like I think now that the Reaper, all right, not in the way I thought it would, but I'm pretty sure the Reaper dies this round. I'm pretty confident Mace can finish it off.
So you don't have another game where you're cursed with 1 health ships running around for no good reason.
No, but speaking of that, and I know he listens, did you catch Minty's?
Yeah, I did see Minty's.
That did tickle me.
Comment. That amused me.
But no, basically I'm gonna chase the Reaper with Mace again. I and ah about two harding Obi to the left and then boosting around to just make sure that I'm range 2 of that objective.
I think that's a fine play.
Well,
give it that roll 1 hard.
I don't in the end because I'm banking up with Hound, so I'm pretty sure he's got that covered. So I actually dial in, I think a 5k, but it may have been a 4.
Okay. Basically
to jump where the Reaper is and reset for the next turn, and then I've got options to go right or left. You know, I'm not too keen to throw Obi into the fight because he's got 3 health left and he's 1 away from half.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, you know, yeah, it just gives me a bit of time to get back, regen some force as well. Now, Anakin. So, Anakin, I make the decision pretty early on, actually, to barrel roll him to the right. Because I think if I turn in, there's just too great a chance.
You're just asking to die.
Yeah, basically.
That's just asking to die.
Also, my initial thought was to barrel roll to the right and then do a 3 bank to the right and basically head him off down towards that debris field.
Yeah, down to the bottom corner of the pyramid.
My thinking there being Vader can't easily chase him there because he can't do a fast straight maneuver or he's going to clip the debris field bottom centre. So maybe at most a 3 bank to the left.
Yeah.
So that was my, and that's if he's guessed that I'm heading down towards that corner. Because
whereas I think like the default guess is the default guess. Actually, no, I think the default guess is Anakin bugs out and sort of goes away somewhere either straight. So in my mind, Liam can just sort of set up to follow Hound. And then you might catch Anakin.
Yeah, exactly. But again, my point, like a 3 bank to the left doesn't really chase Hound.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe a 3 straight fits.
Yeah, I think a 3 straight.
But that's, I think, as fast as he can go. So going to the right with Anakin nets me more space from Vader, basically, who realistically is the major threat for him.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, we get into it and should roll off in a second. There we go. And it's Liam again. Because
the curse of priority.
So I do a barrel roll. No disarm for 7th Fleet Gunner, because again, I think I'm going to get shots. Although, in hindsight of this entire game, I actually think just don't worry about whether you're going to get shots and recharge the 7th Fleet, because a lot of the time the 2 dice don't do anything. I've been quite lucky. You know, I was very lucky that I planked 2 through on Iden and that's it, really. Like, a lot of the time...
Yeah, I guess it's easy to see what happened and be like, oh yeah, I should definitely save the shots, but like, how likely is
exactly.
the lad to put 2 damage?
And there are more shots later in the game that he rolls 1 hit and 1 blank, and so on and so forth, and it just gets dodged. And I think, the hindsight is get 7th Fleet recharged, so it's recharged.
Yeah.
You know,
so it's not like you're running 5s where missing gets you benefits.
No, exactly. So, system phase, Annie does this barrel roll to the right. And then I change my mind whether I want to go forwards or backwards, so just do that. And then Hound does something I wasn't expecting, because I didn't know the Reapers could do it. And
Vizier.
Sorry, Vizier. And stops.
I didn't know Vizier could stop either.
I was expecting, like, if not an either one, then a hard turn. So Mace is, I think, doing a 2-bank to the right to basically follow where.
Oh, you just range 0 him with the Obi's 4K, don't you?
No, it's better than that.
Okay.
So Hound does a 3-bank to the right, which just misses Anakin.
Yep, it does.
And I coordinate Anakin and evade.
Sensible.
Because just in case, Liam guesses it perfectly, and I know I'm doing a 3 straight, maybe I bump. I want that evade to be on the safe side. And then we go to the 4s. And
it's contraband time.
It's contraband time. Green Jingoist does a 3K, takes a focus, and I look at that going,
oh, he guessed wrong.
I think the 3 straight might bump that. So,
oh, that is true.
Yeah, and then I think
my initial gut is like, oh, I think Liam might have guessed wrong if he's positioning his arcs to point back towards the centre of the board.
I mean, this is the point where I'm thinking, I wish I dialed in the 3-bank to the right.
Yeah,
because if I bump that, Iden's coming in.
But that's called just massive hindsight.
Well, yeah, exactly. Iden does come in with a 2 straight and takes a focus, and Yellow goes through the gap it was facing to take to I suppose come round the debris on the next turn.
Yeah, it just clears the way for Vader.
But it also means that I know Vader's not 3-banking down.
That's true.
Because the tie's there, so it's fine. Mace does his 2-bank. He bumps. He takes a red focus. And then Obi does his 4 or 5k. I can't remember which one it is. It's a 4k, because we get the template out. And what do you know? It turns out that I bump into Vizier. But I fit in next to Mace. So
you count as bumping
Vizier. I can't do the red focus because I've K-turned and I've got a stress.
Yeah.
But
you don't roll for damage.
But I don't roll for damage, and I'm range 1 CLT.
Yeah.
So
happy days. Vizier's probably dead.
Exactly. I've got the Force. All I've got, I think I've got at least 2 Force by this point. So all I've got to do is roll 1 bit of paint off the 3 dice at the CLT, and he's dead. So yeah. Not the way I'd planned to do it, but hey,
it worked out.
It worked out. So Vader actually turns 3-bank up, which is quite interesting. I wasn't expecting that. I'm guessing he's, as you said, he thought Anakin was going to turn in that way.
Yeah.
And he was hoping to catch him. And just takes the focus.
Yeah, I mean, he's got hand and arc.
So
easy peasy.
Anakin doesn't bump. And again, it's that close that the corner of the Jingoist is probably between his nubs. And then we spend a couple of minutes just talking about this. Like, you can see, I'm currently range 1 in the Jingoist in front of me's arc, but have a range 1 bullseye shot into him. But I'm also range 1 of Iden. And I'm like, I mean, Green Jingoist gives me a strain.
I'd be a little scared that you weren't quite at range 1 of Iden, because you look like you were in her bullseye, and all of a sudden we're in heavy laser cannon territory.
Yeah, I'm pretty confident that's range 1.
Yeah.
But so I haven't. I was like, I could barrel roll to the right, but that doesn't get me out of Iden's arc. And then forces me to barrel roll again the next turn.
Yeah.
Or I could just take a focus and focus evade, try and see it through, and then I decide. And then we're like, do I go for the boost? Because the boost puts me into Yellow's arc, admittedly, but gets me out of Iden's and the Jingoist's.
Yeah.
And sets me up better for the next turn. But it's does the boost clear the Jingoist? Basically. And we're looking at it for a while.
Yeah.
And I do opt for the boost. And actually, there's a bit more space than I thought there would be. So it means, yes, I'm taking a shot, but I've got an evade, I've got force. It means I'm getting a shot back as well, as opposed to just taking one from Iden if I barrel rolled. and because of where Vader is, I've got ample space to be able to turn in on the next turn. So yeah, reasonably happy with that. So Vader goes into Hound, 3 obstructed, gets 3 hits, and takes the shields off. Anakin goes into Yellow Jingoist and does nothing. I'm not spending the Force on. I think it was Focus Blank. Not spending there because
it's a TIE fighter.
Yeah, just in case the TIE fighters reds go hot and the greens go cold, I want Evade Force. So yeah, Obi does his range wild CLT and murders the Reaper. So that nets me another couple of points.
The expected result, pretty much.
Yeah. The tie goes. Yellow goes into Anakin. Doesn't do anything. Iden goes into Hound. And plinks 1 off. And then green doesn't have a shot. Mace doesn't have a shot. Hound goes range 2, I believe, into Iden. She's got no tokens. Trying to plink that 1 off and rolls nothing.
Then everyone's at range 2 of the center except Obi and Mace, who are having a bit of a powwow on the far right.
Pretty much. Council meeting, excluding Anakin over there.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, so at this point, I'm quite happy because I'm 8-3 up. It's half an hour left to go. So Iden's, close to dying. So long as I can... Honestly, so long as I can keep Hound alive and then don't get too overcautious with the... over committing with the Jedi, I'm pretty happy that I've reasonably got this. I think I can keep a ship range 2 without putting it under too much pressure because of where the ties are. So, yeah. Now, next turn, I think I just bank Mace down to relieve the stress, 2 bank over Obi, and we'll go from there, basically. Obi, trying to remember if I bank. I think I might bank and then barrel roll in to try and get into range 2 of the center objective.
Yeah.
Now, where Vader is, that kind of screams of a 4K to me.
See, I was thinking like a 1 bank.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Because my guy, Liam's like tie condition at the minute, it's just clean up Hound. Like that's where the majority of list is pointing. Just clean up Hound.
Yeah.
And then worry about later. So I'm thinking 1 bank.
Interesting. See, I thought...
And then maybe barrel roll to get like space for next turn.
Yeah. See, I thought the 4K. So Hound 2 hards in, trying to block that. Because, yes, it lands me in front of a rock, but I can stop the next turn to delay going over that rock. So it's not... it gives me time, I suppose. And I'm... In hindsight now, looking at it, I see more possibilities, but I looked at... green, I think, goes straight to relieve the stress.
Yeah, green does a 2 straight. Iden, 3 straight, maybe.
I see. I thought Ida might bank after Hound, like a 3 bank.
Maybe. I'm just looking at the rock, and that's too close for my 1 health TIE fighter liking.
Fair enough. And I looked at yellow and thought 3K. And in hindsight,
I'd have immediately pivoted too hard.
Yeah. See, in hindsight, looking at it, I go maybe that. I think my thought with the 3K was Hound's a bit too far away for that tie to really threaten him. Whereas if Anakin sort of aims for where yellow is at the moment to come back round, that gives him a nice shot in the back.
Yeah, that's true.
So I pinned on doing the 3K. So I basically K-turn Anakin over and do a 4K, thinking that should be range 1. I can ditch the stress and
do what you want. Yeah.
Black things is the plan. Really should talk over this bit. Quite bad at pausing it here. Sorry for everyone on YouTube.
Yeah, because to me, I look at the Vader. I'm thinking one bank or two straight because you wanting 4King doesn't get him anything.
So system phase. Oh, and Liam's first player again.
Yeah, he always is. So
system phase. I take a disarm and recharge 7 fleet, namely because I think the only shots I'm going to get are bad ones. I mean, I didn't think I'd end up with a shot on Iden. Green's probably obstructed, and Vader I'm hoping to block, so is going to be range 0 or goes into the front. So I felt that was the time to do it, basically. So yeah, and then Hound 2 hards, which actually leaves me a bit more space than I thought it would in front of that rock. So I think that
you can 2 hard again.
I can 2 hard to the left again, and I don't think I can come in. I think I'll clip, but I think going away I'm fine.
Ooh, I don't know. I think he got some space there, but either way, you're fine.
Then we move to the 4s. Oh, and I reinforce.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Reinforce to the front because that's where I think I'm going to take most shots. Namely, it just kind of helps protect against the Vader. Again, if he gets good natural greens off a bump and I roll a blank, at least it's nullifying 1 coming in.
Yeah.
So Iden does do the bank, which clears the rock. And actually, I couldn't remember if this was where he barrel rolled. Just takes a focus. Basically, he knows I'm disarmed, so he's not worried about being range 1.
Yeah, he's not getting. Basically, Iden's not getting shot. Although I would have maybe attempted to barrel roll in.
So yellow does a 4K because dials have them, which is fine because I still think I'm range 1. But I was hoping to just have the bullseye lined up straight, and I think the 3K would have done that. Do the TIEs have a 3K, or am I just misremembering? Do they have both?
They do have a 3K. Yeah. That's why you can precision engine them.
Yeah, they have 3 and 4s. But hey. And then green does a 2 bank to the right and clips the debris field.
Yeah, I didn't see that one come in.
No, I have to admit I didn't. So takes a stress, but no damage. But that's an arc I basically don't have to worry about. Mace does his bank, and then boosts because it lines up a shot onto that debris field. Jinguist. Obi does a 2 bank and then barrel rolls in with a fine tune and then takes a lock onto Vader because I think I'm back up to full force by this point. Basically, because the next turn I can 1 hard, barrel roll, boost. I'm definitely range 2 of the objective. So it doesn't matter if Hound disengages away from that. I'm just trying to cycle people in and out.
Yeah.
Vader, I think Vader dialed in a 3 straight, not a 4K. But that still does clip into the front of Hound.
Ooh.
And he doesn't take the red focus. And then Anakin does the 4K, which lines me nicely range 1 to the right of yellow as I'm looking at it. So I spend a force to ditch the force and barrel roll in behind, so I'm not taking a shot. And have a nice range 1 bullseye into him. So we start with Vader going into Hound. And he rolls 2 hits. I can't remember what I rolled, but I do remember at this point saying it literally doesn't matter what I roll, because either I roll an evade or the reinforcer knocks it down anyway. So I take 1, and I'm down to 6. Anakin goes into the yellow jingoist, rolls 2 hits to focuses, spends his remaining 2 force to turn it to 4 hits. So he is force depleted, but I'm not taking a shot. I want to use this opportunity to try and punch the damage through. the jingoist, I think, rolls 3 lots of paint. Actually, looking at the fact he hasn't spent his focus, I'm guessing 3 of 8.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes they do that.
so nice. But I plink 1 through, so, it's plinking damage. Obi has no shot. The only yellow doesn't have a shot on anyone. Green's on the asteroid debris. Sorry, so it's just mace into green. It's in bullseye. And then I had to clarify that Liam was like, "Oh, hang on, the bullseye's obstructed." I was like, "No. CLT isn't a bullseye weapon. It just adds a result, so it's an unobstructed shot, but range 3." And I roll 1 hit, 2 blanks because I 7 fleet gunner this one. I fire convergence the 7 fleet, the 2 blanks into 2 focuses. Add the focus from CLT and spend my focus for 4 hits.
Seems legit.
Fire convergence and 7 fleet on the same ship be good. And the green tie rolls 2 blanks and a focus and evaporates. So at least he doesn't have to worry about coming off the asteroid next turn. I did him a favour.
That is true. That's true.
Sort of. So yeah,
I'm sure he appreciates it.
That's net me another 2 points. We're still both 1 point from the objective, and I'm 11-4 up now with 20 minutes left. So the way we've been playing, 2 more rounds, maybe 3. But at this point, like, Liam really is going to need to kill
a lot.
Hound and a Jedi, or 2 of the Jedi, and it's kind of running out of ships to do it.
It's not even running out of ships, because I think Vader can do it. He's running out of time.
Well, I was going to say, Vader can do it, but in 3 rounds?
Yeah, no. I think the problem here is he's run out of time.
Yeah. Also, the fact that that yellow tie that's on 2 health is stressed. So is either doing banks...
2 or 3 straight or a 2 bank.
Yeah, exactly. Anakin can just 1 hard behind and reposition for a shot if needs be. Mace just banks in between the gap between that debris and asteroid and lines up the shot from the front. So I'm reasonably confident I can probably take that one down. Obi's going to clinch my point for the objective, and Hound's just going to basically hard turn away, try and get his arc onto people.
Yeah, you've basically got it.
I feel like I have. It's a system phase. I don't recharge 7 fleet gunner because no one's in range, and I do feel like at this point I kind of want to be shooting Iden, who banks in afterwards and does a focus. So I think we're range 2 of each other. The Jingoist goes straight and takes a focus. Mace does his 1 bank, lands range 1 bullseye, so just takes a focus. Obi does the hard turn, boost to barrel on a boost, to get into the center again. And then Vader does I think a 3 hard that was.
Okay.
Which I wasn't expecting.
I didn't think that one was going to be a thing, yeah.
And bumps into Hound again. I really wasn't expecting that. I was expecting
that's very unfortunate.
I was definitely expecting a 4K there, because there's no real way to block that. And I kind of figured that's the whole reason why he hadn't taken the red focus on the last turn, because obviously then you're stressed. Yeah, you can do the K turn, but you're not getting full throttle and so on and so forth. But yeah, so interesting.
That's unfortunate. I think that seals the game.
And then Anakin 1 hards behind the Jingoist. It's got the bullseye, so I just take a focus. So Vader goes into Hound, rolls 1 hit. I roll a blank, so it goes through. So Hound's on 6. and it's 1 point off being half pointed. Anakin goes range 1 bullseye into Yellow Jingoist. 4 dice, 3 hits and a crit. And the Jingoist rolls 3 paint. So just takes the crit. And
Lovely.
The crit is a fuel leak.
Even better.
I mean, I would have preferred a direct.
I mean, as far as the Jingoist is concerned, like, it isn't a crit.
Yeah. Then Liam and I get a little bit excited and decide not to follow the rules of X-Wing anymore. Whereas we're like,
okay.
We're like, hey, the Jingoist survived to I4. Let's shoot Mace. So he gives Mace a strain.
Yeah.
Shoots Mace, gets 1 crit, and Mace evades it. And then he's like, right, he shot me, so I'll shoot him back. Range 1.
Hang on a minute.
Yeah. Range 1 bullseye. So we do that shot. I spend, he dies. And then we were like, oh, hang on. We've missed Iden. Like, whoops. So we go and do Iden's shot. And Iden goes into Hound, rolls... has the heavy laser cannon, sorry. It gets 3 paint, spends the focus for 3 hits. Hound rolls 1 of 8, takes 2 hits, is down to 3. I must have missed a damage somewhere, so down to 3. And that's half points on Hound.
Alright, we're getting there.
Oh, no, we're not. Because then we're like, oh, hang on. Not only did we miss Iden, we also missed Obi-Wan, who should have shot at I5.
Oh, dear.
So we're like, alright, fine. We'll do the Obi-Wan shot. So we're like, alright, cool. We do the Obi-Wan. So that Iden, I believe the HLC was 1 hit and 2 focus results. Because it is important. So I have a range 3 CLT into Iden. So I take that. Because she's in the Lat's arc, so I've got fire convergence. I get hit crit out of hand, spend a force for hit crit. Iden rolls blank eyeball evade, so Iden's dead.
Yep.
Which means suddenly Hound gets a load of health back and is back up to 5.
No!
Right.
We thought we were there, but we weren't.
Eek. So yeah, whoops. And at this point, I'm just like, okay, yeah, I've got this now. Iden's dead. I'm on 15, and it's still 4 against Vader.
Yeah.
With
I think
with 12 minutes left.
The 3 hard, to me, that sealed the deal. Like, it don't get me wrong, I think it would have been very hard for Liam to pull this back, but when Vader bumped, like, it was over. Because I do not discount Darth Vader's ability to crit train through, especially with Malice.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
But I genuinely think I've got enough.
Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I don't think Vader not bumping meant that this game was going to get close. But I think, like, if Liam's out, was Vader has a modded shot every turn that goes massively his way.
Like, because Liam's also sort of hamstrung by the fact that he's got to stay range 2 of that as well.
Yeah.
Or I'm scoring 2 points and I'm on 16. So he's got to stay on my ships, gain 9 points, and stay range 2 of the objective. Whereas I've got enough ships to just muck around, basically. So yeah, we go to round 7, and I'm first player.
Yay!
Hound takes the disarm because I'm trying to bump Vader again, and does a 2 hard. Stays stressed. It's fine. Sure. Basically, Mace does a 2 sloop. Then spends a charge on R4P17 to boost in. Basically, so I can turn in towards the objective on the next turn.
Makes sense.
Obi does a hard turn up towards Hound and then boosts. My hope was that I was trying to get the block on Hound and I get a range 1 CLT into the side of Vader. Was what I was hoping for. Although in hindsight, looking at that on the board now, I think a 4K just jumps over that.
Yeah.
But hey ho. And Anakin does a 1 hard to the left behind the debris and boosts. So again, next turn he's got space to turn in towards the objective and sort of chase Vader. And then Vader does a bank and bumps into Obi. A little bit sad with. I don't want the range 0. Although it does mean that my 3 health CLT Delta is taking a range 0, so.
Yeah.
Or not.
Or not. I mean, I feel like at this point, Vader just, like, you should go into Hound.
Yeah.
That's what the points are at the minute.
I agree. So he does go into Hound because he's rolling 4. He burns all the force for 3.
There's a target lock somewhere, doesn't there?
There is a target lock. We actually look
but
at
it's
that.
Vader, so who needs target locks?
He rolls 3 and a crit. I rolled on evade, so I take it. I'm down to 2. I have a stunned pilot. So
But points on the board.
Still hanging on, but yeah. And then it's literally just Obi-Wan's range 0. Rolls hit crit. Vader rolls no evades, so takes 2 shields. Like, Vader's fine with that.
Then you get 2 points for the center.
And then I get 2 points for the center.
Yeah.
Because he's just out. Which is the problem, because now he's got to be... see. I apparently didn't update the overlay, but if you do look at the board marker, I'm on 18. Yeah, which kind of means... I think Hound might actually be on 1. I think I forgot to plink a damage off. So he's not on 2. But yeah, it's like, I'm kind of like... He's got to come in or I win, basically.
Yeah. So we know Vader's doing a 3 hard.
Yeah. So Anakin's dialed in a 2 bank, and System Phase tries to barrel roll, but the debris actually clips all of them. It's like, may have just sent Anakin over an asteroid. Don't really want to give Liam 6 points at this moment. But yeah, so barrel roll fails, and then I accidentally press undo a couple more times, so I have to change that. I've rotated my turret in the end phase because I'm going 1 straight. Because I think Vader's going down there, so I want 7th Fleet on. I want Fire Convergence.
Yeah.
Mace banks to the right of the obstacles, boosts to the left, and then tries to squeeze a barrel roll in, but that fails. So, not having the best of luck with my barrel rolls this turn. But hey. I'm trying to work out. I may have apparently just cheated somehow. I have just cheated somehow. Yeah. I wonder if this... no, it doesn't make a difference. But so Obi's just 2 sloops in front of... behind Vader.
Okay.
Then apparently spent a force to take a focus.
Wrong Obi.
Wrong Obi. Wrong Obi.
Wrong Obi.
Whoops. 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 Well. Vader does I think a 2 bank.
And barrel rolls. Spicy.
Barrel rolls. Because that'll get him range 2 of the objective.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice. And lines up a nice shot on Mace, so all's good. Anakin does the bank, which doesn't clip the rock. So I just take a focus because I think I've got Vader in bullseye. Vader goes into Mace does the HLC, so ends up with 4 hits because it's Vader. Mace ends up with 2 evades, so takes 2, so that's half on Mace.
Yep.
Anakin goes into Vader, ends up with hit crit, which Vader dodges.
Evades.
Right, now this is the shot I need to. So Obi CLTs into, or not CLTs, shoots into
7th Fleet.
Vader, 7th Fleet, and looks like I rolled 3 out of hand, so that cheating focus was irrelevant. That's the important thing.
Vader looks like he gets 2 evades.
Got to evade, so I've plinked 1 more shield off. Mace has no shot, but Hound does range 1, but I don't think I do anything. And we score a point each.
So 19-10.
19-10. So all I've got to do is have
40 seconds left.
So all I've got to do is have 1 ship at range 2. Sorry. Now I can't remember what I do, so it'll be a surprise to me. But what I should do here is 2 hard Obi to the right.
Yeah,
because it's the last turn. It doesn't matter that there's an asteroid in front of me. That should put me range 2. I'm pretty sure I turn in Mace as well. Hound can do whatever the hell he likes. And Anakin should barrel roll to the left and 1 hard in.
Yeah.
Vader can't kill all 3 of those ships, which will net me them.
Wash him!
But let's see if I actually was thinking about that at the time, because I'm notorious for not thinking those things through. Like the last time when I confused you by launching Anakin at you.
Yeah.
But
that was confusing.
Just because I just don't think. So the LAT recharges 7th Fleet Gunner, because I'm pretty sure.
Why not?
I'm pretty sure I'll need the shot to punch anything through on Vader. Anakin does this barrel roll. I can't remember if I dialed in the 1 hard, but looking at that, I'm hoping I didn't. Although, actually, to be fair, Anakin could just land on the rock. It wouldn't really matter, would it? So long as he's...
Honestly, if 1 hard to the left, you're still in range 2. You're fine.
The LAT does a 2 hard and coordinates a focus to Mace.
Yep, seems legit.
Mace hard turns in and then takes an evade, which I think I burnt the other force on the LAT to keep Mace, so he's got force and evade and focus for attack and defense. Because I'm assuming Vader's turning in.
Yeah, because he has to.
Well, I mean, he could go straight.
He could, but he kind of has to turn in a little bit.
Oh, that's what I did.
Could have 4K'd, actually.
So Obi did a 2 bank to clear the stress, and again, I think that's a mistake. Because I don't think that's range 2 and takes focus. Anakin did the 1 hard away.
Yeah.
Because that I still think is range 2.
Yeah, that guarantees the win.
Yeah, and then takes the evade.
Well, actually, not win if Liam can somehow score about 9 points in 1 shot.
Yeah, unfortunately though, he's 4K'd over Mace, and even if he kills Mace, that's only 2 points.
Yeah.
If he kills Obi, that's and if he kills Obi, that'd be 5. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
I think even if he killed Anakin, it wouldn't be enough. It'd be 7. So yeah. So he goes into Mace, does his hit crit. I roll like 2 evades and a focus. He then jukes the focus. One of the evades. I then spend the focus to turn both of them back. So I take a crit, and the crit was a hull breach.
The worst type of crit that Vader wants to not see. He wants pilot crits or he wants direct hits.
I mean, I'd argue that if he'd got a hull breach on Hound as the first damage, that's pretty spicy.
I mean, true,
but yeah, so Mace is still alive. I have some random shots. I actually think I'll check the overlay. Nope, don't click the last shield off, so don't get half points on Vader, and then we score a point each, and it ends up 20-11.
Yeah, that's quite a decisive victory, really.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. Like, again, even despite the fact it's, you know, it was a good game and it was a reasonably wide margin victory, I still think there's places I can improve in it.
Yes,
my choice of,
absolutely. There always is.
I think I'm reasonably happy with my flying. I don't think there was many. I don't think there was many mistakes based on the information I had at the time. But things like the triggers, you know, recharging 7th Fleet Gunner and so on and so forth.
Yeah, like identifying little bits, I think, is the way to improve off this game. Like thinking through, like, actually, Hound might have a shot, but does it matter?
No, if I can get that, you know, if he's just got a shot, and I wasn't worried about 7th Fleet Gunner because I didn't think anyone else would be using it, which probably means they don't have great shots. Is that the time to be worried? You know, is that the time you want Hound shooting, or does he recharge then? And then when you've got all your ships on one target, you've got 7th Fleet Gunner and he's shooting. So
yeah.
Like, I think target priority was pretty spot on, trying to catch Vizier early and get him off the board. And he's, you know, for the Republic, who don't often throw a lot of red dice, although admittedly this list can, you know, going into the 1 of 8 ship is the easiest way to get points on the board, get something else. You're denying that Palpatine mod.
Yeah.
And then it was a case of, I think it was a case of picking off the ties while trying not to lose much myself, because, okay, Vader can die because he's Vader and can't spend his force on defense, but I'd still argue he's one of the tougher ships in that list to actually take down.
Yeah, he is.
So, you know, if I can plink off the rest of Liam's list without losing 11 points of mine,
then you're sorted.
Then I'm sorted. But it was a good game, and to be fair, as you pointed out at the start, Liam doesn't often fly Imperials, so he was kind of learning as he was going.
Yeah.
Normally, when he flies them, I'm pretty sure he flies Interceptors. So, but yeah, that was that match, and it's left me with some interesting conundrums before my next tournament. Do I go for the 4 ships slightly better? You know, 3 Jedi and Hound. Do I do the 2 V-Wings?
I mean, I think the Max Jedi one, the one you got here, I think is probably the one you want to do. Because you like flying Jedi.
I do. But then, interestingly, I flew this against Chris at Club Night, and he had Rey, Commander Poe, and 2 Y-Wings, and just tore me a new one. Literally tore me a new one. I think it ended up something.
But you can't win every game.
I think it ended up something like 24-3 or something.
Ugh, that is that is a drubbing.
Yeah, but no, it's certainly interesting, and I have a couple of other tweaks to try on Hounds. I ran the C3PO one that I wanted to try, and I just don't think it's as good for me, because as you saw in that game, there's quite a few turns where I don't mind staying stressed when I had the Force.
Yeah.
And I again, in the one with C3PO, I didn't mind staying stressed because that's not what Hound's there for, I suppose. He's there to make everyone else better.
Yeah.
So having the Force as a natural mod probably is better for me than having double calculates and a reroll on the defense dice. But yeah. But no, good. And I think that's really all there is to say on that one.
Yeah. I didn't have anything else to add.
Yeah. Prattled on for quite a while. So we will wrap it up. We'll be back next week with another game.
Yeah, some game or another.
But yeah, until then, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon.
Heart.
Goodbye.